Hey guys, welcome back to Witty's Gear Reviews. Today we're going to look at a light that's not currently available on the market. This is just a preview, guys. I'll give you as much information as I can. And what we're looking at today is this light here. Now, keep in mind, this is on Kickstarter. This is backed by Kickstarter. I'll leave a link in the description. If you want to get in early on this light and get it for over 50% off, you could jump over the Kickstarter and follow the process there. But I want to go into the details of this light, and there's a lot to talk about. And we'll just go ahead and jump in. Right now, I cannot tell you that it will come in this case. You're going to see some things in here. This actually came in a bag that said not for resale. So this is a prototype. And I'm glad that they reached out to me and asked me if I would try it out and then do a review on it. So this is the Tisoks TF1 2500 lumen flashlight. Like I said, I can't tell you that it's going to come in this case. Not 100% sure once they actually do production how it'll be shipped. But mine came in this case, which is a nice little embossed leather type case. Not really a hard case, but molded. Then you just have the light in there itself. You have, it is USB-C rechargeable. Then you've got an extra O-ring and a lanyard. We're just going to put this stuff back. Once you've seen one lanyard, you've seen them all. There's nothing special about the lanyard. And then we're going to go right into the details of this light. Now, as you can see, it's your standard tactical shaped type flashlight. But there are some differences that make this light unique compared to a lot of your standard lights. You know, you just look at the way it's made. Holding this in your hand, you can definitely feel the quality that's in this light. Now, right now, I do not have it with the battery in. I've taken the battery out so I could make sure it was 100% charged prior to use, so I could show you all the features without worrying about it going dead. But until you have a tail switch there, you've got a forward switch here and RGB lights on the side, and then your pocket clip, which, you know, you're going to have a little bit of your light sticking out. And then your lanyard hole there and there, what I call the crown of the light. And then, of course, your LED. Now, we'll go ahead and talk about the battery itself first. And then we'll put it in here, and then we won't have to talk about the battery again. So, you're going to get one of these, which is a 2600 milliamp 18650 battery. Now, one thing about this light is you have to take the battery out, plug in your USB-C here, and then plug it in and charge it. You just undo the back, which you have an O-ring there, and we'll get into the waterproof rating as we get more into the light specifics. Toss our battery in, and now we have a fully charged battery in the light. Now, the body of this light is made out of 6061 T6 what they're calling aerospace or aircraft aluminum, with a matte black anodized finish. And the good thing about the anodized finish is it's going to be scratch resistant. I'm not going to say scratch proof, but it would be a lot more scratch resistant than standard paint. But this whole aluminum body is CNC machined, and it just feels really good in the hand. It's a good feeling light, not super heavy, but not, you know, cheap plastic where it feels super light. It feels like this thing could take a beating. Which, talking about that, this thing has been it has an impact resistance up to 1 meter. So it's been drop tested at a meter to function. It's also IPX8 waterproof. So basically, it could go underwater for 2 meters and still function. So you don't have to worry about being outside and it's pouring down rain, snowy, sleet conditions. You drop it in a bucket of water. It falls into a puddle when you're crossing walking down the road or crossing a stream. It falls into the water. If it's not 2 meters deep, you're fine. Pick it up, shake it off, and move on. So that's some good features about the quality of the light build itself. Now, when you get into the light modes on this thing, there's a lot more to talk about. Your main light is equipped with a HP50L LED main light. And then it's got a dual-sided anti-reflective glass. And I guess that's pretty true because my light doesn't seem to be really glaring off of it like anything else would. So that's decent. This light also has 5 brightness levels. We're going to talk about everything first, guys, and then we're going to show the functions, right? It would be a lot easier to do that than to kind of go through each thing and back and forth. So what we're going to do is talk about all the specifics, and we'll start showing you some of the functions of the light. But it has 5 brightness levels from 10 to 2500 lumens. So that's a pretty big gap. To get all the way down to 10 lumens and then fire all the way up to 2500. So it kind of covers a lot of bases as far as nighttime use. Just trying to find your car keys, man, you probably want to be about 10 or, unlock your door to your house. You don't need it that bright, but if you're trying to scan the wood line or you see something in the woods or whatever, something in your backyard, what have you, you've got up to 2500 lumens of super bright light that you could use to get that distance out there. And with the distance, you're going to get 236 meters of throw. So that's pretty decent. That's a pretty decent throw for a light this size. And we already talked about it being USB-C rechargeable. We talked about the battery size. On the side lights, which that's what this is, on your side lights, you have 4 adjustable settings there, which you'll have a warm, white, red, green, and blue. And then you also have a 365 nm UV light. So for all you stain hunters out there, this might be your ticket. You'll get that UV light and you can kind of search for scorpions, blood and carpet, and other liquids that you may want to check for in a hotel. So it does have a function. And it looks cool at night when somebody's wearing a white shirt. But you do have the UV light. And then you also have a blue and red emergency flashing light. We'll get into that. This thing activates. It doesn't do anything when you press the side button. You have to activate it through the tail switch. That turns it on. This helps you go through some functions. But when we get into the actual, lumens and all that, if you were to look at this light, if you were in turbo mode, which is 2500 lumens, you have 70 minutes of light. 70 minutes at 2500 lumens. Most of your flashlights that go up that high, usually you'll give you sometimes they don't even show because it's just a matter of seconds and then it's going to step down into a lower mode to keep the thing from overheating. But this says 70 minutes at 2500 lumens. At 700 lumens, you get 80 minutes, which is your high mode, 700 lumens. Then you've got what they're calling your, your mid 1, or a mid 2, which is 250 lumens, and you're getting 200 minutes. Then you'll have your mid one, which is 60 lumens, which is going to get you 720 minutes. Then you have your low, which is your 10 lumens, which is going to get you 100 hours. 100 hours at 10 lumens. 10 lumens isn't that bright unless you're in the complete dark, like walking through the woods with very little moonlight. 10 lumens would seem like daylight. It's enough to see where you're going. Now, in that kind of situation, a survival situation and stuff like that, you don't want to use all your battery life. So you can try to utilize the 10 lumens as long as you can to make sure your light stays closer to that 100 hours. Now, of course, you see an airplane or rescue or people in the distance and you need help. Yeah, hit them with that 2,500 lumens with that 236 meter throw. Now, one thing I do want to say, when I was looking at all the information that I could find on this light on the Kickstarter, I saw one thing at the very bottom that I thought was pretty interesting, and I want to share that with y'all. Just their little motto or whatever. And it says about Tisoks. We're not here to chase trends. We just want to make good flashlights, durable, reliable, and built to last. Every detail of a Tisoks flashlight reflects our belief. If you're going to carry something every day, it should be something that you could count on. That's a pretty big statement coming from this company, right? They're pretty much saying that they're designing a light that's going to be durable enough and have the longevity that when you really need it, it's going to be there. That already tells me that they put a lot of that if they truly mean that, they had to put a lot of engineering and a lot of testing into this light before they put it out on the market. And time will tell, right, guys? Once these things get out there, I remember a long time ago where Olight, people are like, oh man, that's just a poor man's streamlight. Well, where are they now? Olight is probably one of the biggest names in flashlights out there. Yes, you have your loop gear, and now Lumen's making a big push. There's no telling what your next Olight company will be. It might be Tisoks by the end of the day. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how they last, but this thing is packed with a bunch of features, and it is a solid light. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty of what it actually does, right? Let's look at the light functions. I'm going to try to do this without blinding everybody. I'm going to try to keep this face towards me. To access any part of the light, you have to use a tail switch. But first, you can lightly press. And if you're in a hurry, you don't want to be clicking a bunch of buttons, just press the side. You've got your light right there. You can see that you've got a good flood and spot. But that's a quick way to get the functional light, and the only thing it does is this brightness level. That's it. Now we're going to click it to turn it on. There's two ways you can adjust this switch. You can press and hold, and you're going to cycle through all your modes, and it goes back, or you can just press it. So in that mode, a little brighter, 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 turbo, and then back to your low setting. And you can see on your low setting, it's casting a pretty good light. I'm in here in my office with the light on, and but it is dusk outside, so not a lot of light coming through the window. Now, if you go to this front light, we did the cycling. If you triple click this, right? 1, 2, 3, you enter your strobe mode. Long press, you enter your SOS mode. Long press again, and it's kind of neat where it takes you. Takes you to your 5.0 lights, your emergency flashers, red and blue. Those are all, I would say, kind of like your emergency modes, right? And then one press takes you out, turns your light back on. What did we see there when we used this light? We saw strobe mode. Hey, trying to get an animal or a person away from you, hit them with a strobe light. Nobody likes to look inside of one of those things. It's going to disorient somebody. You're good to go. Then we saw an SOS. Right? Now, trying to get somebody's attention, want to throw an SOS out there. Good over a long distance if you're on an island and you see a boat going by, right? SOS, a lot of people knows what that means, or, to an airplane or anything like that. And then you have the emergency beacon mode where you have the red and blue flashing lights, which is also something that's going to attract people's eye. How many times have you thought you saw red and blue flashing lights in your rearview mirror and you're like, oh man, I better slow down, right? It just automatically attracts you. You're like, oh, that's a cop. I better slow down. You're looking in your rearview mirror to see if he's pulling you over or somebody else. You can't say you haven't done it. I'm sure you have. But those are those modes. Now, if you double click this side switch, we're going to get out of the front mode and start going into the side mode. So we're going to double click the switch. And that's going to give you your nice little warm white mode, right? So this is good for reading. You can see it casts light more of a distance out. You don't see that ring like you do with the solid light. It's kind of casting a nice even light across the whole table. So good for lighting up an area. So, like if we stuck something there, you can take the light away. My camera's automatically going to focus. But if you wanted to see something in that area, that light gives you plenty of light to do that, or this mode. Then if you long press this mode, just press the button, long press, you're going to go into your red light mode. Now you can see at night. It's not going to mess up your night vision. If you're in a deer blind, just out in the woods and you don't want to mess up your night vision, you have your red light. Plenty good enough to see what you're doing for cooking, anything like that. And it doesn't use as much power as your main flood or spot on the front of your light. Long press it again. We're going to get into the green mode. Green pretty much does the same thing. Helps you at night. And just gives you that nice glow. And you can see a lot more detail. We'll go back over that when we go back through them. But I just want to show you what the differences are. The next mode we're going to go into is your blue. Now look at my hand when the blue's on, right? We'll go back through the colors. Now we're on our UV mode. Now you can start seeing that white glow. It's just a bag of glow-in-the-dark beads. Shine that UV light on there for a minute and now the whole bag's glowing. It's a pretty strong UV light. Just to show you, the table's pretty clean. There's no blood stains or anything like that. That's good. But you can see there how fast it took to make these glow. Other than that, they're usually like this, which don't glow. Still glowing. I use those for a lot of lanyards, guys. Toss them on the end of some paracord, and if you drop something at night, you can find it, especially when you go camping. But now you got your UV mode. Now let's cycle back through. We have our warm. You can kind of see the definition. You can see my hand pretty well. It's casting a little more shadow. We've got the red. Now the red, it fades out my hand a little bit. Now look at the definition when you go to the green. Now you can see all the veins in my hand. The creases on my knuckles. That's what if you're looking at something detailed at night, the green can get you that. And then we go back over the blue and it seems like it washes everything out. right? Kind of looks like it's almost UV, but it's not. And then we go back to the UV setting, and that's in UV. So it doesn't wash out my hand. You can see the UV light around my fingers, and it's just highlighting the white. So those are the modes on this light, guys. We'll take it out a little bit later when it gets dark outside, and we'll see what the throw looks like with all different modes, and kind of test it out. But I just wanted to do a quick, brief review on that light. Again, like I said, this hasn't been released yet, but you can get it for a discount if you jump over to Kickstarter and go ahead and back the product. When you do that, all you're going to do is wait. When it goes into production, they'll let you know when they're going to ship it to you. If it doesn't make production, you don't owe them nothing. So you can make a pledge. If it goes in production, they'll send you a light for a pretty deep discount from what it's actually going to be sold at on the market. So it gives people a chance to get this light for a cheaper price, and you're actually going to see it when it hits the market. Keep that in mind. Like a lot of people, I have backed a lot of Kickstarter stuff. The new Lumen light that's coming out, I backed that. Some knives I've backed. All that does for you is you get it cheaper. If it goes into production, you get one, and then you're like, man, that's pretty cool because I was able to get it a lot cheaper than it is now. So keep that in mind if you want to back anything on Kickstarter, but this is a good thing to back. Take a look at it and tell me what you think. That's all we got, guys, for right now. We're going to take it out, and we'll come back and close this out. Okay, so we're out at the park. It's probably going to look a little brighter on camera than it actually is out here, but we're going to kind of go through the different phases of this light. Just kind of go through, and you can see right there you're on your moonlight mode. Then you have mid 1, mid 2, high, turbo. And we're going to kind of go towards the back, and you can see the throw on this light. Without the light, you can't see the very back fence back there. But once we pull up the light, you can see the leaves, the fence line, and you can kind of see a difference. So this light is bright, and you can see how well it illuminates everything in front of it. Then we'll go over to the map. And right now you can see the map. This is just a map of New Mexico, and you can see, you know, with the white light, you can kind of see everything on the map. We're going to go into the RBG side light. This is just your soft white light. Now, this would be your night vision mode, right? This is what's going to help your eyes still be acclimated to the dark and still be able to see. But if you can tell with the red, you lose a lot of definition. You can't really make out, the lettering's kind of hazy with red. So I'll show you what happens when you go over to a green light. Now, with the green light, if you can get closer, you could see the definition. You could see every word, every letter. You can see the topography that's on the map. So the green would be a lot better for reading a map at night. But there's something I've marked on this map ahead of time which you cannot see and you couldn't see with the green or the red. But watch what happens when you put a blue light onto the map. Now you can see my X. That's just with a highlighter. So a blue light's going to highlight. So if we had a pre-established route, highlighted on this map of a way that we wanted to go or to a landmark, at night you would be able to see that highlighter with the blue light. But this light also has this mode. Now you can really see the highlight when you're in the UV mode. Now you lose all the definition, it's harder to read. You might see it better than I do on the camera, but you could definitely see how bright that is. Now what we're going to do is we're going to rotate back over. You could barely make out that that's highlighted. You can kind of see it. Now when we go to the red, you cannot see the highlight at all. So if you were just using a red, it's hard to read these words. Green, it's easier to read the words, but you can't see the highlight at all. And then blue, now I could see my marks. Anyways, guys, that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to get outside in the dark and kind of give you a better visualization on the different phases, the different light models, features on this light, so you can really see what it would do if you were working on something at night. What color do you need? Depends what you're working on. It depends what you're doing. But for map reading, it also depends. Red is good for working on a task where you don't want to be noticed that much at night. Green is really good for picking up definition. And then you have blue, which is good for seeing trails and stuff that you mark on the map prior. So at night, if you're going, all right, well, we started here, I highlighted my path to get here, blue will help you see that at night. And then of course your UV mode's gonna really highlight that one section, but is also gonna highlight stains, blood, and also scorpion, stuff like that. Anything that's that's of a wider color that'll shine. Anyways, guys, that's all we got. We'll bring you back to the table and we'll close out. All right, guys, so that's pretty much it on the preview of the Tisoks TF1 light. Now, like I said, this is on Kickstarter. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to go over there and support the light through Kickstarter. You're more than welcome. But you can actually go to Tisoks website, and once the light's available to the public, I will leave a coupon code in the description. Feel free. It doesn't make me any money. I'm not making any money off of producing this video. I did get the light for free and asked if I could do an honest review. They agreed, so I thought we would show it. Really good light, packed with a lot of features, really well made. I think the light has a potential to reach out to a lot more people that are looking at more premium lights. So take a look, go over to Kickstarter, read all the information yourself. Check it out. There are a couple other reviews out there. Like I said, this is a not for resale item. It's not the final, I don't believe. Pretty close. This is a prototype. But that's all we got about this light, guys. Do me a favor. Let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know your thoughts, because I will be going back to Tisoks and giving them my honest opinion. And then, of course, anything that you like, dislike, or thought should be changed about the light, I'll add that as well. Anyways, guys, do me a favor. Like, share, subscribe. Click all those notifications. Still 3 ways to support the channel. You got Witty's gear, buy me a coffee, memberships. Love y'all. See you on the next one.